Hi, it's Michelle from Movement Lesson. I'm here to talk to you about smoking. First of all, please don't do it. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. You have no idea what it does to you physically. Take the money, put it into account. You'll thank me financially. I don't know what else to say. But I want to talk about lung function and smoking. People don't realize that when we breathe, so when we intake air, we breathe, our chest expands and the diaphragm comes up, and so does the palate from our mouth. So you can feel it if you just breathe in just nice and gently. You don't have to make noise. Don't make noise when you breathe. That's not supposed to happen from babies on up. But when you breathe in, you'll feel almost like a compression, and the chest cavity is supposed to expand. That's typical breathing. Breathing is not a muscular-based function. It's a vacuum. That's why we can't hold our breath, because that diaphragm reacts to volume and will react. Now, the big difference is with smoking is when I smoke, I now suck my breath. So I don't breathe in, I suck. So if you just do that suck, what you'll feel in this case now is the diaphragm will drop. The diaphragm is organ underneath the lungs that affects the like I said, that vacuum in the lungs, that in and out. But the diaphragm will drop with a suck, and the chest cavity elongates. So it almost gives a neuro sensation like you're getting a deeper breath. This is one of the biggest problems with smoking is people feel like I'm breathing because they can regulate their breathing. You can do breathing exercises all day long, a 4-2 timing, 4-4 timing, meditation, all of that. That is great. And it might calm you down, but you really cannot affect the way you breathe. In other words, when I go to sleep, I'm going to sleep with the breath that I had the day before. And so that's where you get the apnea and so forth, because you can't mentally control your breath. Breathing is a subconscious life force. I don't worry about my breathing. I shouldn't worry about my heart rate. I shouldn't worry about my balance. Those are things that go on in the subconscious functions of our brain. When they become conscious, like, oh my gosh, I need a cigarette. Oh my God. That's where that obstruction to you, where you are thinking, comes into play. You shouldn't be able to be in a position that you can't handle a situation because you now need to regulate it with something else, like smoking. But that's where the emphysema comes from. That's where the chest cavity abnormalities come from. That's where, because of that suck, it's a different function. It affects the palate different, because when you suck, again, that palate goes up, versus when you breathe in, the palate goes down, those kind of things. And the elongation of the lung function, not to mention the smoke that you're inhaling and all of that. So when you're looking at the way that you're breathing, just because your lungs are going long does not mean you're getting a fuller breath. Your lungs actually, chest should expand. So when you see a retraction or any of those kind of things, that's where they end up, where the kids end up when in the hospital, because you'll either see the sucking here, that retraction, or you'll get the retraction through the diaphragm kind of thing. That's when the lung function is not working. Another thing to keep in mind with the lungs, again, with that breathing, guess what I'm doing to my heart cavity? So that's where you don't have the swelling around the heart tissue, because again, it's a nice gentle massage when you breathe in and out, what it does to your heart. Again, with emphysema, you go long and you're not going to get that same heart function. The heart will have to work in a different way if the fluid starts to go around the lungs and the heart. It doesn't have a way of siphoning that fluid out. Our bodies work a certain way for a reason, and once in a while we should appreciate it. It's all movement, it's all clear, but sometimes we just don't think about the basics in life, and we weren't born with a cigarette, so please don't smoke. Thanks.
The Newborn Movement Assessment Guide is available at Amazon.com and at the newbornmovementassessment.com website.
By joining this exciting community, you will learn how to help infants from the moment that they enter the world and change the lives of countless children and families. Out of necessity,